So now we've kind of covered the pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinetics. I have this kind of list of agents here that are, I would say, like the real notorious suspects for clinically significant drug interactions with MDMA. And you have antidepressants like the SSRIs. I would also add SNRIs to that list. I don't think of them as very different when it comes to drug interaction potential with psychedelics. And if it's an SSRI or SNRI, it seems like it really sort of mutes the effects of MDMA. And this could be because of that direct kind of blockage of MDMA's ability to release serotonin that we saw in the pharmacodynamic slide. It could also be due to some longer term neuroadaptive effects of those types of antidepressants. They typically produce their therapeutic benefit over a period of weeks to even maybe a couple of months. And it might be these sort of neuroadaptive changes that ultimately lead to diminished effects of psychedelics, or kind of a lag time between the antidepressant is stopped and when MDMA will be fully potent again. So SSRIs, SNRIs, not necessarily dangerous with MDMA, at least at sort of standard therapeutic doses, whereas monoamine oxidase inhibitors, or MAOIs, and lithium are two medications that could potentially be really dangerous with MDMA or even produce life-threatening types of toxicities. The benzodiazepines, things like Valium, Xanax, and related types of substances, seem to mute effects of serotonergic psychedelics. They also mute effects of ketamine. But there's a lot of different flavors of benzodiazepine user out there, all the way from the person that takes a little bit once every other month when they're on a long flight versus somebody that's taking a fairly heavy dose 3 times a day. So with the benzodiazepines, a lot of it is like time and dose dependent and has to do with the kind of person and their use regimen, rather than thinking of, oh, they're taking a benzodiazepine, so they just can't benefit from MDMA or MDMA assisted therapy. And then just think like MDMA with other amphetamines, other stimulants, you're just using stimulants in combination. So you're probably increasing the cardiovascular risks at that point. The pharmacokinetic or more metabolism related interactions, ritonavir and cobicistat are those 2 HIV medications I was mentioning in the metabolism or pharmacokinetics types of section that have resulted in potentially fatal or even death in combination with MDMA. And then there's a lot of different medications, like too many to really like list in the slide, that are known as CYP2D6 inhibitors that boost the concentrations of MDMA. This is, well, it's sort of a concern in some ways because it boosts the concentration of MDMA, and in other ways, MDMA actually blocks CYP2D6 itself. So in some ways, MDMA already creates a CYP2D6 interaction, and adding another CYP2D6 inhibiting drug, it affects things, but it doesn't affect things to the extent that CYP2D6 inhibitors do with other types of drugs or substances out there.